Weird thing is people start behaving differently online than they do offline. And that is weird because still there's another human at the other side of the computer, right? So you
Exactly.
still
Yeah.
need to build that relationship with the person on the other side of the computer.
Let's go!
Mitchell, hey man, how are you?
Good, doing good, doing good. How are you
Thank you.
guys doing?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Welcome. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. So, everyone at home, Mitchell Weijerman, he left the Silicon Valley to basically pursue the digital nomad lifestyle. So, he's now managed to fulfill that dream, which is fantastic. He's built himself a fantastic community within Facebook of 18,000 plus people. So, it's a huge accomplishment. Congratulations, Mitchell. You've done fantastically.
Thanks, man.
Everyone's keen to hear your story and hear, how it all started, how it all began. And I'd love to hear as well. So, yeah, absolutely, man. Tell us a bit about yourself. What was your humble beginnings and how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah. All right. So, well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be on here. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm calling in from Koh Phangan, Thailand right now.
Beautiful.
It's 8:30 a.m. But let's dive into my story because up till 7 months ago, I still thought that I wanted to become the next hotshot CEO, right, of a big corporate company. I worked my ass off. I did 2 bachelor degrees. I went to Harvard, and I finally landed my dream job in Silicon Valley. I was working for a Fortune 500 company. I was 23 years old, and
Wow.
I worked my way up from entry level to managing a team of 40 people within 7 months. I had a huge apartment.
fantastic.
I had a nice car, and everyone told me like, Mitchell, you are living the life, man. You're living the life. Wow, how the fuck? How are you able to do this? And internally, I was thinking, am I really living the life? Is this the life that I want to live?
Yeah.
Because for me, it was like a routine that I got stuck into. Like every morning, waking up at 7, going to my work. Then I came home at 9. I was super tired. I couldn't do anything anymore. And then the next day was on repeat all over again and all over again. I didn't like it at all.
Rinse and repeat.
Yet everyone, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Yet everyone was telling me that I was living the life. So it was kind of doubting. It was an internal conflict. Am I doing the right thing, or should I pursue the things that I really enjoy? So one day I decided, fuck it. I'm going to do my own thing. I am going to travel the world. I'm going to build my business. And I just need to figure out how it works. So I quit my job. I moved away from Silicon Valley. And so now at this point I had to figure out things myself, right? I didn't have any online entrepreneurial experience.
Yep.
So I started this Facebook group in which I interviewed entrepreneurs every day, similar to what you are doing.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's how I started out actually. And I did that for a good month. And then things finally started to connect. Up to that point, it was, I changed from a social media agency to drop shipping to affiliate marketing. It's also, there's so many opportunities that I wanted to do everything, and doing everything doesn't get you any. Yeah, it's standard. Everyone falls into that trap. But doing everything doesn't get you results, right? You need to focus on one thing, commit to it, and aim to become the best at doing that one particular thing. So after 1 month, that kind of, finally, I understood that, and I started to commit to doing coaching. And it worked out. So things started to work out. I started to make money. I was able to travel the world. And I had this Facebook community in which I was interviewing entrepreneurs every day. So this was at the early stage where Facebook Live was relatively new. Not too many people were doing it. So everyone was hopping on in my group to watch my live sessions. And they were sharing with their friends like, yo, hey, Mitchell is interviewing these awesome entrepreneurs. and hop in, join in, and yeah, my audience grew. With my audience growing, I could get better speakers, all the way to New York Times bestsellers, #1 copywriter of the world.
Yeah, wow.
You name it. I had a lot of epic guests in there.
That's fantastic.
And yeah, now we are where we are right now. I expanded my business. I've got multiple businesses, some of them in the Netherlands, some of them internationally, and yeah, traveling the world.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Yeah, congratulations.
Welcome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because, you know, for not knowing what direction you were going to go, but just jumping in the deep end and then figuring it out while you were swimming is, you know, phenomenal. So congratulations, man. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So how did you, from the interviews, how did you leverage that? It was more just the coaching was the main service you were offering and you had more of an audience to offer that to? Is that kind of how it developed?
Yeah, so the interviews I did because it was just so much fun. I think you can probably resonate with it. It's so much fun to speak to another person every day.
Yeah, definitely.
And probably you know this, but it's just an opportunity for you to pick someone else's brain for 30, 40 minutes while you're networking, while you're providing value to your community.
Yeah, it's fun.
And at the same
really
time,
is, yeah.
It's fun, right? And now you know so many people in your network. You've seen them one-to-one, and you're connected to them. And not just them, your audience is connected to them as well. So it's a huge value. And that just was super satisfying, right? To make all of that happen.
Definitely, you know, you're leveraging your network and then your guests are leveraging, you know, your network, and really you're just synonymously growing each other's networks. So it's fantastic in that, you know, symbiotic relationship as such.
Exactly. Yeah, and then while I was doing that, you know, the audience grew super fast. So with it growing, doing business online is all about your ability to maintain or to get attention and to maintain attention and to convert that attention into sales, right? So you have to learn that along the way. And probably if you're starting out, this is quite tough because you've got fear of asking money or you don't know how to make the sale online. So there's a lot of things that you have to learn and overcome along the way. And for me, growing that community, I made a lot of mistakes. In the beginning, it's not that easy to monetize, or at least it is easy to monetize now looking backwards. But in the beginning, I was, you know, I didn't know how to make a sale online. What a lot of people are saying, like, yeah, hey, how are sales online different from sales in person, or is it way more difficult? Because people make it seem way more difficult, but it's not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's just a different skill to develop, essentially.
I don't know. I think we all have the skill already in us. And the weird thing is people start behaving differently online than they do offline. And that is weird because still there's another human at the other side of the computer, right? So you still need to build that relationship with the person on the other side of the computer. So it's not different. It's the same thing. You're just doing it with a computer in between you guys.
Exactly. That's why I don't understand the psychology behind the internet trolls and that sort of thing. It was like, man, there was absolutely no way you would say that to someone in person. You would have a fear of getting punched in the face.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so people behave online differently than they do offline, but it should be the same thing. And if you do that, then everything will come naturally. Yeah,
beautiful. No, that's some fantastic advice. So Grant had a question earlier. It was about how, what's your strategy for connecting with podcast hosts? So, I mean, Grant, for myself, I've basically just been spending a lot of time on Facebook myself in regards to, say, I'll see different influencers or people that look really interesting or have, say, thought-provoking comments in different groups. And I'll message them and just say, hey, you know, I saw this. I'd like to get in touch. Periodically, I'll see different blogs and I'll actually email them as well and ask them. But Mitchell, how did you find, say, in the beginning, I guess, for those that, you know, when you first started out, what would you recommend for those trying to find guests? With Grant's question.
So a good strategy to find guests is, I think it's relatively easy to find guests, right?
It is.
Everyone
Yeah,
on
definitely.
the internet kind of wants to promote themselves or wants to put their name out there or has some product or service that they're promoting. So
Yep.
if you understand that, then the next thing is you just need to create a win-win situation for them. And I know that when you reach out to me and you mention, okay, I've got a Facebook group, I've got a podcast, I've got a YouTube channel, and I'm giving you this business exposure. Well, for me personally, it was not about the exposure. It was about just having fun and having a conversation with you.
Yeah, I appreciate
But
that.
for a lot of people, it is about the exposure, right? They want to get more traffic to their website, to their offer. And if you create this win-win situation, you tell them like, hey, I've got an audience that's probably interested in what it is that you're doing. I would love to have you on the show. And I think they would love your story. And at the end of the conversation, you can mention your offer or promotion or what it is that you're trying to get attention for.
Yeah, fantastic. No, that's great insight. Because it's really exactly that. It's like just coincidentally, with the structure of this show, it is exactly that, where it's share your story, offer some value within the group, so the group gets something out of it, and then promote your business at the end. So I had no idea that you were interviewing people in your group originally. So that's fantastic. That's really cool. Yeah. So Grant, I hope that does help answer your question, man. Yeah.
And to add a little bit to that, Grant. So sometimes you need to warm up people a little bit. And how do you warm them up before you reach out to them? Just for a few days, like let's say 5 days in a row, go on their Facebook profile, go on their Instagram profile, just like and comment, and this person will receive notifications from you, right? So Ross just liked you, or Ross just loved this comment, or Ross replied, and then I'll click on Ross's profile. Who is Ross actually? Who's this guy? Okay. And then once he reaches out to me, I feel like I already kind of know who he is. So it's not completely cold anymore. We've sort of built up a relationship, and that will make things way easier. And another thing, don't get discouraged when you get a no or when you don't get a response straight away. It's what we mentioned in the beginning. Online, it's not different from offline. It's all about building relationships. So you need to build up that relationship a little bit, and then at the end, the sale will come or the collaboration will come, but work on your relationships. That's the most important thing.
Definitely. And if you are going to reach out to people, don't be creepy about it.
Yeah.
That's, it is. I mean, because you're behind a screen, some do feel that there is that level of just, I guess, just not secrecy, but it's just because you're in a different world, but it's not. You're really just a person connecting with another person. There just happens to be that barrier between you, but it really isn't a barrier. So if you're going to go down that route of trying to connect with someone, certainly don't be creepy about it, especially if, just say it's a male guest trying to reach out to a female guest or vice versa. If you start commenting on all their things, they're going to be like, who is this guy? Like, what's the deal? But if you warm them up and then you're very upfront about it and say, hey, I've seen what you're offering, it's fantastic. I'd love to have you on my show or have you as a guest writer on my blog or, discuss with you about these different things in a public setting, then it's going to be much better perceived than, if you'll just send them a cold DM and be like, oh, hey, and then they'll be like, hi, how can I help you?
Exactly.
No,
so
that's awesome.
Grant, now you've got some ammunition to get really cool speakers for your show or your podcast. I don't know if you have a group or a podcast.
Yeah, well, Grant's actually been a guest on the show because he's in the fitness industry. So he's done very well in his field. So I wanted to get him on the show just so that way we had a different perspective on the entrepreneurial hustle for someone in the fitness industry, opposed to, say, always having, just everyone in the digital, space. So it was great to have him on in that regard. Learn a lot about, health and fitness and that sort of thing.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, Mitchell, from figuring out your business after only a few months and growing this group, to fantastic levels, when did you know it was time? Because you said you've got a few, offices or companies in a few different countries. When did you know it was
Yeah.
time that you could actually pack up and move, overseas to then start traveling and work from your laptop as such?
Yeah, well, actually, I I did it straight away. For me, it
Yep.
was just taking the leap. I know that. Okay, so here's the thing: with anything that you're doing, if you want to do it really well, I recommend you to have a burn the ships mentality. This means go hard or go home. You either make it happen or you figure out a way to make it happen.
Yep.
So I just quit my job and I moved to Barcelona.
Beautiful.
I had a little bit of savings from my job in Silicon Valley.
Yep. Yep.
So
Of course.
I just started working. I started to figure out stuff, and for me personally, it was I got rid of the idea that I could go back to a corporate job, because if I knew that I could go back, I wouldn't give it my 100%. Right?
Exactly.
And this is what a lot of people get stuck at, because they know that they have fallback options, and that reduces your performance. For me, this was not the case. It was all or nothing. And while I
Yep.
was there in Barcelona, I just worked my ass off. I filled hard, I learned hard, I networked hard, and that just accelerated the whole journey. So yeah, if you want to do the same thing, if you want to travel the world while building your business, I just recommend you to take the leap and figure out things as you go along. It can be stressful occasionally, but stress, if you channel it correctly, can enhance performance as well.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Stress can be, if you leverage it right, it can be a great tool to use.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Because in September, when I left the 9 to 5, I basically just straight away bought a ticket to the Philippines. I went to visit my old man in Thailand for a week first, and then went to the Philippines to learn about offshoring. And then, basically that was the end of it. I came back to Adelaide, Australia, and I've been here ever since. Just going hard or going home. So it's good, man. It's great advice.
There you go. Burn the ships mentality.
That's it. And in saying that, I will add to it though, with burn the shift mentality in regards to corporate as a whole, but for your specific job that you have, still respect the position you did have. So I would never ever burn a bridge, but I would absolutely burn the mentality of I can't go back to a 9 to 5. But sometimes I hear people saying, oh, I worked at so and so, fuck them, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, they helped you initially to pay your rent and cover your bills, and you at least have to respect the people you worked with. But absolutely, the mentality of going back to a corporate, then absolutely fuck that. But the specific role you had, at least respect those people and respect the position you had. Because I listened to I think it was a Gary Vaynerchuk once podcast, and this guy was talking about, he's like, oh, this job, blah blah blah, they weren't, they paid my rent and they helped me afford to be able to leave the 9 to 5. But, I wasn't interested in working for them, so fuck them. I was like, man, that's not really the best way to be. But absolutely. If you're going to go hard, just jump in the deep end and don't look back, for sure.
Yeah. To add to that, Ross, right now you are the accumulation of all your past experiences in your life. So if you wouldn't have that corporate experience, or if I wouldn't have that corporate experience, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So
100%.
Be grateful for that. Be grateful for every experience in your life. Everything that comes along your path makes you what you are right now. And if you understand that, go make it happen.
Yeah, Mitchell, I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Yeah. So everyone tuning in at home, Mitchell Weijerman, he has basically left Silicon Valley to pursue the nomad lifestyle. He's done absolutely fantastically. He's really just traveling the world and working from his laptop. So he's done immensely. He's grown a group to 18,000 plus, a really engaged community. So, that's fantastic as well. So Mitchell, thank you again for coming on the show. Everyone at home, just so we know you're getting value from this, if you're able to drop tag #value, just so we know that you are listening, that you're getting value, just so we know to keep continuing on with this podcast for future episodes. So Mitchell, basically from there, so you're saying you've started to really grow your consulting business. Is that your key core business, or have you branched out to a few other ones as well?
Oh yeah, at the moment I have 3 different businesses.
Yeah.
Hashtag failure. That's a good one. Hashtag failure.
Use it, man. Use it.
Yeah. At the moment I have 3 different businesses. So I have a personal coaching business.
Yeah.
I have an information product business. So what we do is we find blue ocean niches and
Yep.
we build out information courses in there. So
Cool.
rather than making another dropshipping course, which are so many already internationally,
Exactly.
I try to spot the markets that don't have them. Let's say the Netherlands. I'm originally from the Netherlands. I'm sure that you could have heard it from my accent.
Yep.
So in the Netherlands, the online marketing industry is very small, and there's no people teaching about dropshipping. There's no people teaching about private labeling. Everyone still thinks that they should get a corporate 9-to-5 job. So I'm very active in those markets because there's low competition. I try to
Right.
find low competition, high profitability markets and really differentiate myself. And you'll see that things are so much easier when you do this, when you actually put the time and effort into finding these blue ocean niches. Because I see way too many people online trying to do the same thing, selling click funnels to coaches, consultants, and experts. And it's a mega red ocean. People are struggling to make money because they're just copying everything literally that everyone else is doing and that they've read from the .com secrets book. So yeah, find your blue ocean niche, guys. Take the time to really niche down. I would say niche down and niche down and niche down one more time, at least 3 or 4 layers, and then you'll see that everything will become so much easier. So that's what I'm doing. One of my businesses is to purely find these blue ocean niches, partner up with people that have the knowledge, and then build out these courses to serve these niches. And then my final business is a software business, which I just recently launched, and I cannot share too much about it yet.
That's okay.
But I will do that very soon.
Yeah, cool. No, absolutely. We look forward to it. That's awesome. So with your group, so let's get into that, because that's a really interesting topic with the sheer volume of people you managed to grow. Because you said when you first started growing it, it wasn't, not many were doing what you were doing in regards to the interviews. But how long have you had the group for now, Mitchell?
7 months.
Man, that's massive. Congratulations. That's huge. Like, there's some fantastic communities out there at the moment that many of these group members are a part of. And, they've taken a year, 2 years to get 15, 20, 30, 40,000 people. And that's taken a long time. But in 7 months to get 18,000 is phenomenal. So that's excellent. So I guess for everyone listening at home, what advice would you have for those trying to first establish their group? Because there's a lot that are really struggling to hit that first 100 or first 200 mark. What would you recommend for those guys or girls?
Okay. Well, in the beginning, guys, it's literally all about building, it's about building relationships with your group members. I'm not going to lie, I spend about 8 hours a day in the first 2 months just working on my Facebook group, networking with people. Yeah, exactly. There you go. It's worth the investment because the people that joined my group in the first 2 months, which I actively spent so much time with, they're still there in my group. They show up every day. They're loyal. They became fans. They became friends. I meet them everywhere around the world. And it's worth the time investment. So a lot of people think that if you just start a Facebook group with a really cool name and a really cool cover picture, things will just go automatically. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. It's about showing up every day, multiple times, connecting with people on a personal level, providing value, and then you'll see that things will start growing. And in addition to that, it helps when you understand some of the Facebook algorithm, so one of the things that you will start to experience is if you do live interviews every day, or if you use live every day, Facebook measures the number of hours people spend in your group. The more hours people spend in your group, the more Facebook is likely to promote you to their existing customers, or the people on the platform. So I actually didn't spend any time in other groups. I only spent time in my own group, providing a lot of value, providing a lot of great interview content so that people spent a lot of hours in my group. And organically, Facebook boosted my group with 6,000 members in 3 weeks or something, just
wow.
by doing that.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Yeah, you got to love organic reach.
Yeah. I mean, did I hear you saying that you're going to run ads in the beginning of
I haven't yet. So I was going to do that today. I've been researching a bit in regards to just investing a little bit of money because I haven't spent a cent yet. But I figured to speed up the growth of the group, grow the community more, now that the Online Footprint Project is available on iTunes, I figured, all right, now is kind of the time to start, treating this more like a business. So yeah, have you spent any money before, Mitchell, on ads at all for your group?
Zero.
Beautiful.
Zero.
My man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great.
So
well, yeah, I figured.
Drew is dropping a comment. So you're saying get good at being live. Well, Drew, let me tell you something here. You don't need to don't think that you need to be good at being live before you go live. If you check my first live sessions, they were terrible. It was like, it was figuring out the camera. You'll learn along the way, and you'll start to love it when you get this engagement, when people start dropping #value in the comments, when people show up every day. And this is a massive confidence booster. It's super satisfying, and you'll become good at it along the way. So Drew, just go and do it, and invite me for your next live session. I'll be there to support you.
That sounds great. Because I've certainly touched base on this a few times, but just to reiterate it, where if you're not comfortable on camera, it's really a case of just practice makes perfect. And if you feel more comfortable, perhaps recording yourself at home, just on your phone, not live, do that and then delete it, and then do it again and again until you get better at it. And then when you want to start going live, test the waters and go live. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you go straight into a live podcast, Facebook interview. You can do just a small piece of value or a segment on whatever you want. And as much as I found as well that Facebook Lives have made this group grow so quick, if videos aren't for you, it doesn't mean that you absolutely have to do them. Like, don't do them just because we've said to do them, but they do help. But if you're a blog writer and that's what you're comfortable in, just write the shit out of those blogs. Like, that's just focus on that and make that your all. But if you can do the videos, fantastic. That's really all I can recommend in that regard.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I mean, in 2018, video is the #1 format that all the platforms are pushing. So just try it out, see if it works for you. If it works, perfect it, and you'll learn as you go.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, Mitchell, absolutely. You've had some fantastic value today. I think a lot of the members are getting a lot of value. So thanks so much. So I guess for those that are starting to, get into, sales online, because you were saying that you really find niches where you offer courses, but it's more a case of those courses are in countries or perhaps in fields that others aren't offering. So how do you, without giving away any trade secrets as such, perhaps, still staying within the US, do you have any advice for people looking to start to get into courses?
If I have advice for people, okay. So if you want to get into a course, or if you want to create your own course, please don't make the mistake of building a whole course without ever having a conversation or validating your idea. Because so often it happens that people build entire courses. They spend 2-3 months of their time trying to film a course. Then they're launching. Then they don't get any sales. They get burned out. They get depressed. They get demotivated. They start doubting about life and get upset. Please do not make this mistake. Always validate before you make. It's simple. Just go out there, have 20 conversations with your ideal client and figure out whether they have a problem that they want to have solved, whether they're willing to spend money to get that problem solved, and whether they're willing to spend money up front to get that problem solved. So those are very important parameters. And get your data, guys. Become data nerds. Become data geeks. It's essential because data doesn't lie. But your own assumptions and your own emotions do lie, and they can fool you. And
Yep.
you can fall in love with your own idea, right? You create this awesome course about, what do we create a course about? Whatever.
So podcasting, for instance.
About podcasting, yeah. You create a course about podcasting, and you haven't validated it. You don't know if people are actually struggling with making podcasts. So when it comes to the launch date, you're launching. And another problem that people have, or another mistake that they make, is they haven't built up their audience before they go live. Always, guys, tease your audience. Just the validation itself already helps you to build up an audience. Then tease people with little snippets, with little insights. Because if you don't build up your audience, you're going to launch to crickets. No one is going to be there. They don't know what you've been working on. You haven't made them excited about anything. And chances are big that you're not going to get any sales. So build your audience, validate before you make, and don't get discouraged about making a course, by the way. I know that I just mentioned two very big pitfalls. I also gave you the tools to overcome them, or some of the tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
But building a course, honestly, is amazing because you are able to help a lot of people to overcome their problems and to achieve a particular desire that they have. And it's super scalable. So if you can help one person to achieve that outcome, you can help 1,000 people to achieve that outcome. And if you're starting to build out your course, you can scale that so easily, right? And I love it. So I highly encourage you to go out there and do it because it's the way to scale. But please validate before you make and build an audience before you launch.
Yeah, really well said. That's some fantastic value there, Mitchell. I mean, this has been a great chat so far, and I think everyone at home is getting a lot of value from this because there's so many people out there that want to create courses or they have them, that sort of thing. So that's fantastic. So I'd love to hear more about with your businesses as such, like with your coaching. So what's your demographic as such? Like, is it those looking to start their laptop lifestyle? Is it just those looking to scale up businesses? What happens in that regard?
Yeah, so that kind of evolved as I evolved. So in the beginning, it was people that wanted to learn how to live the laptop lifestyle, or people that wanted to become digital nomads. And that was because I was in that stage of my life. I was trying to figure out things. I was trying to figure out how the internet works, how making money online works. And now I'm at a stage where I made a lot of mistakes. I learned a lot of things, and I consider myself to have grown and evolved a lot. So about 2 months ago, I did a big reflection moment in my life. It was almost 2018, end of 2017. Do I want to continue what I'm doing? Is this the right course or the right direction? And I also thought about my ideal avatar, because guys, your ideal avatar is not fixed, right? Your ideal customer. You need to revisit this over time, because you change over time, the environment changes over time, your knowledge changes over time, and you learn, you grow. So as I evolved, my ideal avatar also evolved, and I'm now helping mid-level business owners to scale up their businesses. Helping them to level up their sales game, helping them to implement a lot of automation, funnels, ads, chatbots, to free up more of their time so that they can focus on the growth areas of their business.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Mitchell, this has been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you so much for coming on the show. So for everyone, for them to be able to get in touch with you, how can they do that for you to be able to help them with their businesses?
Sure. Just reach out to me personally, Mitchell Weijerman, or join one of my Facebook groups, Digital Nomad Accelerator or the Sales Accelerator. I'll be in there every day, and you can have a chat with me, and we can make big things happen.
Yeah, beautiful. So if you're able to drop those links as well, even the group links below in the comments section, just so everyone can join
Yeah.
your groups. That would be fantastic. So yeah,
Sounds
Mitchell,
good.
thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. It's been fantastic having a chat with you, and I know everyone that's watched and will watch will get so much value out of this. So thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for having me on. It was truly a pleasure. And keep up the good work. Keep doing this, and then soon your group will be at multiple thousands of members too.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right, and everyone tuning in at home, thank you so much for investing your time with us here today. This will be available on iTunes and Android tomorrow. Upload it now, and it usually takes about 24 hours. So, yeah, Mitchell Weijerman, everybody. Mitchell, thank you so much again, and we'll keep in touch, man. I'd love to hear how things are going on your end.
Yes, will do, man. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching.